Thanks for joining us tonight. Now we make an interesting transition. We're going to music on Expressions. And if you happen to like country, you happen to like rock, you happen to like folk, then you're going to like our next guest. She's a resident of South Florida, actually Fort Lauderdale, and this is her latest release, and actually it's also her first CD. And joining us is Mary Karlzen. Some of you in the audience might be saying, oh, Mary Karlzen, Vesper Sparrow, and that was for a while, and then you made this transition to a solo artist. Yes. Nice to see you, Mary. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
How about the transition? Was it easy?
Fairly, because in my last year with Vesper Sparrow, I had started to do some acoustic shows with the guitar player in this band, and write more and do my own demos that weren't band related. So
you were preparing at that point.
No, I wasn't intentionally thinking I'm going to leave the band, but it was just like an outside interest to me to do something other than what the band was doing.
Well, some might say Vesper Sparrow, country western. I don't think so.
No.
Country music, but actually, as a child, you were raised in a home that was permeated by country, I believe.
Yeah, my parents listened to a lot of George Jones and Merle Haggard and Patsy Cline, and
well, you were listening to Journey.
Yeah, well, you know, when you're 14, you don't know any better.
Exactly.
And I didn't like the music at the time, but now I find myself realizing the depth of that kind of music and going back to that.
You write all your tunes?
Yes.
What's the inspiration behind perhaps the catalyst for a particular song? What happens?
Well,
what has to occur?
From this CD, I found myself, this was like a journey going back into the past, and a lot of these songs, the inspiration comes from memories of where I grew up, and it's like a suburb of Chicago, and the next town over was a farming community, so it wasn't rural, but it wasn't you know, city either, and a lot of the memories from that time of growing up are a part of the CD.
Some of these, one person said, the way, as we'll hear you tonight perform, but it's as if there are painful lyrics. True?
Yeah, well, everybody tends to. I think when you remember the past, the painful memories are more vibrant and you know, come to the surface easier than, you know, it takes a while to get back to a good memory, you know, sometimes because they're not as clear.
Currently, you're playing in South Florida. I know, well, it's coming up. This is what, I think March 24th, so we have...
we're going to be at...
happening?
March 27th, we're going to be at the Button. And then April 1st, we'll be at a club in Fort Lauderdale called Squeeze.
So you've done a lot of the local scene.
Right.
And at some point, enough already?
Well, we've already ventured up to Tampa, and we're planning to go to Atlanta.
Oh, good. We should mention a few of the your fellow musicians.
Yes, yeah, it was a very important part. The CD was actually a combination of quite a few musicians. Some of the Mavericks are on there. They helped us out a great deal.
Great guys.
Yeah. And
Mr. Malo's on here?
Yes, he sings on one of the songs.
Good.
And Mark is the guitar player. He's from a couple local bands, and we have a drummer that was in some prominent bands, and bass player, Wayne, and...
Do you feel that if you had not come to South Florida that all this would still be happening? Let's say if we were sitting in Seattle, Washington, for example. Has it been in you and it's just coming out now? Do you feel this is destiny at work here, Mary?
In some ways, yes, because when I came down here, I was going to college, and I didn't want to do music. It was just a hobby. And all of a sudden, I just gravitated toward it and got in a band, and it wasn't what I really wanted to do, and now I find myself, I don't want to do anything else, you know.
Well, I know that some of the musical influences upon you, as you said when you were in your teens, justifiably or naturally, country music was not your favorite, but Joni Mitchell, I happened to notice on one of your articles, she's...
Yeah, I tried to go back and find singers and songwriters, and it was very easy at the time to find people who just wrote songs that evoked a feeling in you that, you know, you could fit it to your life. It expressed something.
What happened if all your music would be taken away, Mary? What would it do to you? Take away your guitar and your singing and your songwriting?
I
What would
can't
happen
even
to you?
imagine.
You can't imagine?
I'd probably be a gardener, I don't know.
Yeah, but you just can't imagine, huh?
It would be very difficult. I'd probably find some other way to express myself. I like writing short stories and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
I'd probably go into writing. I don't know.
Express yourself.
Yes.
That's what you're all about.
Well, I try because, you know, when you read something and it has an effect on you and you want to have that effect on other people, you want to share an experience, and music is a great way to do it.
And musically speaking, final question for you. What's your musical roadblock right now? Do you have one? Is there something in the way that's bothering you?
Being categorized, probably, because the music is so eclectic. We take Irish traditional sounds, and we use country, and we use rock. When you go out to see us, it's very powerful. You'd think we were a rock band, but when you listen to the CD, people say it's folk or country or, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the hardest part, is overcoming
Just as long as they say it's you.
Yeah, that's okay.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you.
Mary Karlzen about to perform on Expressions, and this is her CD, her first effort. I'm sure there will be many more. This is entitled, appropriately, Mary Karlzen. And now let me get out of the way, and here to entertain you, the talented Mary Karlzen. Enjoy.
Drive the car down the dirt road, back behind the barn. Back where we used to hide and run out on the fields with those dogs fast on our heels. I didn't know that those dogs would never bite, catching bugs back by the light. In the trees I see you hiding, I see you hiding. And I'd give everything I own for a taste of yesterday, to hear my father calling out Mary. Well, I know just what he'd say. Back to the farm, we'd be out to the fields, and I'd be swinging on his arm, and walk out to the prairie there, thinking we'd find God somewhere, where he was nowhere to be found, and climb up on a haystack and have us a look around. Don't you know, not one tree broke the ground, and of all the things I miss, I can tell you, I can tell you, I can tell you this. And I'd give everything I own for a taste of yesterday, to hear my father calling out Mary. Well, I know just what he'd say. Back to the farm, we'd be out to the fields, and I'd be swinging on his arm. Well, I'd be swinging on his arm. And of all the things I miss, I can tell you, I can tell you, I can tell you this. I'd give everything I own for a taste of yesterday, to hear my father calling out Mary. Well, I know just what he'd say. Back to the farm, we'd be out to the fields, and I'd be swinging on his arm. Well, I'd be swinging on his arm. Well, I'd be swinging on his arm. drive a car down the dirt road. This song is also on the CD, and it's called The Way I See It. The way I see it, it's one for all and all for none. The way I see it, there's some who care, but most who run away from the lights that shine too bright, scurry off into the cracks of the night. And maybe in another place and time, you could have shown a little more patience. You could have told me what was there on your mind instead of up and heading for the station. Now this is my last stop before the road, and I'm sorry that my love was such a heavy load. The way I see it, fathers hand down till they're on their sons. The way I see it, I'm far too small and much too young to change your mind of any kind, to make you stop and turn around and see what you left behind. Maybe in another place and time, you could have shown a little more patience. You could have told me what was there on your mind instead of up and heading for the station. Now this is my last stop before the road, and I'm sorry that my love was such a heavy load. The way I see it, the dawn will come with a new light. The way I see it, you can't be scared of what you can't find. This midnight train will take me anywhere except away from the memory of one who will never care. Maybe in another place and time, you could have shown a little more patience. You could have told me what was there on your mind instead of up and heading for the station. Now this is my last stop before the road, and I'm sorry that my love was such a heavy